Alright, let's try this again. See if we can get to a good position on here. Get a good camera angle. Decent lighting. And let's see if I'm showing up on my stream. There we go. I don't know what I was doing wrong before, but now it's definitely showing up. Just check the audio. Alright, excellent. How to draw a Starscream. I'm just doing the side view right now. I'll go over the explanation probably later on. Probably need to get some better lighting or something along those lines, but right now I'm pretty content to just doodle. Well, if you call this doodle, I guess, yeah, it's doodling. I mean, if it's, why not? Starscream. My favorite Starscream is always the original one, but I acknowledge that he's not super logical, or honestly, Megatron maybe is not super logical for keeping him around. Because you just don't want a traitor in your midst. It doesn't matter, even if he was as talented as all that and the best king of the skies or whatever they called him. If you can't trust him, he's gone. There's no way any military organization like that could trust him. He'd be court-martialed or locked up or punished so many times. And it just comes down in anything. You can't trust him, you can't have him. It's going to be a detriment to the organization. I really wonder how clear I'm coming out on this. I'm gonna move my light source a bit. I think I'm in the way of it. Let's try this. Now I've got some new obstruction. Alright. Is this even doing any good if I just get rid of this altogether? I don't think that hurt the final product by removing that. Okay, let's continue on. Yeah, the Transformers Prime Starscream. I mean, I'm an 80s kid, so I'm always gonna gravitate towards the old school Starscream, of course. But I do have to say, the Starscream out of Transformers Prime seemed like it made more sense. So did the Megatron. A couple of betrayals, and that's it. He's out. He's out of the team. He's not welcome in the ranks of the Decepticons. And that really is a logical thing. I mean, you can't trust him. He wants power, and honestly, I don't think he'd be a very good leader. I don't. It's one thing to be a good flyer, captain, or whatever it is he did, commander, but to lead the Decepticons, I think he requires more patience. He would require more patience, which is something I can't say he has. Overall, the Decepticons' way of fighting and leading, it just reminds me a lot like dictatorships. Because anytime Megatron gets wounded, Starscream's the first one to say, alright, he's fallen. Let me take over. It's done. I'm the boss now. But anytime Optimus Prime falls down, it's the first priority of the Autobots is to get him back up again. So it's not all about power with them where it is with the Decepticons. Second, those dictators have to watch their backs, too. They got people trying to assassinate them, and they got people wanting to take their place. Such is not true with the democratically elected. Usually, I mean, that's democracy fails us sometimes. But there's definitely something more to it when you respect your leader. or respect the one that's making decisions for you. You believe that he or she is the best suited to do that, and because of that, they have the power, they have the pull. I think that's why Transformers works so well. Like it does play a little bit on ethics and various things that we see in real life. Maybe not so much in the cartoon. I mean, the cartoon, every episode is about the same. The 1980s. I'm not dissing it. I really like the 1980s cartoon, but the synopses could be summarized into: the humans find some new form of technology. Decepticons decide they want to steal it. Autobots get it back to the humans. And there you go. That's 90% of the Transformers episodes in a nutshell. Okay, season 1 and 2 anyway. Season 3, they go a little different. And it's a different thing, but I can't say that I like it all that much. I mean, sure, it's better written and all of that stuff, but I don't know, all that outer space thing, I don't know. I'm sure it's an acquired taste, but it's not one of mine for sure. I like the Earth. Cybertron would be okay if they weren't there all the time, I guess. I like the Earth-Cybertron transition. I don't want to be one of those the comics were better kind of people, but I do think the comics were better. The U.S. really hit the main cut. The U.S. comic hit a lot of the main points really well, but they had a lot of fluff that was so different from the cartoon that it wasn't what I consider to be very likable. And the UK, I think the UK was the R-rated version of the television show. You had the same dynamic, essentially, the same characters. They didn't magically disappear after the movie. So yeah, the UK comic, I guess, is overall better than the US one was. But the high points in the US one, I think, are a little bit higher. Oddly enough, they started off at about the same point. That's neither here nor there. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I finally can say I've read every last one of them. Waited over 20 years to be able to say that. Giving away my age a little bit now. But then again, I already did when I said I was an 80s kid, so yeah, there's no worry there. Trying to work on the back of his head now. I'll probably download this later on and turn it into a speed drawing. Because I just gotta pick these shadow points to kinda even it out. It's definitely something different when showing a metallic luster or a texture that's meant to be metallic. You don't just use the obvious or the basic shades of darks and lights, because some areas are going to shine regardless, even if they are mostly covered by darkness. They can still find enough light to shine. So you want to be aware of that. Just working on the line work, maybe it's not such a big issue, but I think it's something nice to know about. Apparently I've got 2 people watching right now. Any of you care to say hello? Any requests, or are we fans of the Transformers or of art in general and drawing? So I'm open to requests. Or even anime. I mean, I'm not that concerned about not doing anime. Let's try another front view of Starscream's head. Maybe kind of a more sneaky look. I know in the movie, spoiler alert, Transformers the movie, the one from 1986. Honestly, if I have to give you a spoiler alert for a movie that's, where's my math? It's after 9 o'clock, so my math's not good anymore. And 86, 96, 2000, 2016. Yeah, it's over 30 years ago. If it's over 30 years ago, I think that if you were concerned, you would have taken the time to watch it by now. So I think I withdraw the spoiler alert. It's your responsibility to watch programs you care about in a timely fashion. But yeah, when Starscream threw Megatron out of Astro Train in the old movie, because he was too battered up to fight back, he had a certain really twisted and evil, sneaky look. And that's definitely props go to the artist because it's not easy to show emotions on characters that don't have eyebrows or pupils or facial wrinkles, but still they were able to find a way to do that. And I'm about to do that right here. They did all that emotion with the narrowing and widening of the eyes, changing the direction. It's impressive. I looked at it, thought that's very brilliant work. Because it's not easy to show emotion when you don't have these things. Emotion's shown through facial expressions, the facial muscles, the eyebrows. Without all of that, then what do you have? You've got eye shape and maybe mouth a little bit. It's not really a lot to work with. I wonder if I'm still getting it. If it doesn't turn out the way I want, I can show you a sketch I did of it, of him making that look, and you can take a look at that. And honestly, in the beginning, earlier in the movie, Megatron did a face like that when Laserbeak had brought information about Optimus Prime's trip to Autobot City and how they were going to ambush. Not Optimus Prime's trip. Optimus Prime's group that he had sent to Autobot City. So Megatron does a kind of a face showing that he's got an upper hand or he's sneaky as well. I see these eyes, maybe I'm going to narrow them down a bit. I think they're just a little bit too lengthy. About like here. I'm going to narrow this down a little bit. I should have started with thinner lines. But it's fine. I think that it's going to be fine. Definitely the favorite Decepticons for me are Starscream, Soundwave, and Megatron. The combiners are cool, Constructicons and all that, but Megatron, Starscream, and Soundwave are definitely the big three. And I guess if you read the comics, Shockwave is really different in the comics. The television show, he's loyal, he follows directions, he's respectable, he's not all that powerful from what it seems. Whereas in the comic, he wants to take control, he's extremely intelligent, he's very deadly, and yeah, he's different. He actually goes toe to toe with Megatron a number of times. He's not quite as strong, but he's strong enough to not be afraid of Megatron. Yeah, this face is coming out well. I'm liking it. But as far as how to draw Transformers, I think that it would be very good before worrying about how to draw the Transformers, worrying about how to draw human proportions, how to draw human features. Like their arms look like our arms, their hands look like our hands. There are just certain changes. Now, from someone who understands anatomy and proportion already, the transition to drawing Transformers isn't quite that large. But without those tools, your Transformers are not going to look dynamic. They're going to look blocky and lifeless. And there are a lot of good artists out there who can imitate very well, who can draw well, but they don't understand how to create a gesture behind their characters. Without that gesture, even the best drawings are going to end up looking stiff. And I understand these are robots. They are supposed to be kind of stiff, but they don't have to be. I mean, the whole point, art imitates life. Even if you're drawing something that isn't really alive, like Transformers, case in point, they should imitate life. That's why animation works so well. That's why drawings can create such an illusion like that. Now, who do we have now? We have anybody watching this? I guess that's me. I guess I'm watching. Well, I'm just looking to see how the picture looks from that angle. I'm not. I have to turn the audio off because there's a slight lag in the audio. But I mean, I didn't expect to have a lot of company right now. It's 9 p.m. Central Time on a Friday night, the weekend of Thanksgiving. So I imagine people have other things to do. But I've been waiting to do this for a few weeks. And now I finally got the webcam set up. I spent a little while trying to get the picture set up, turn it right side up, and I think I've found kind of a comfortable spot. I am getting a little bit away from teaching how to draw them as opposed to drawing them. If there is any interest in me trying to explain my process beyond what I'm doing now, please shoot me a message. And honestly, it may not hurt for me to explain what I mean about anatomy and proportion first, or I could just turn this into a speed drawing. Those seem to be pretty popular, and to be honest, they look kind of cool, so I may just do that. But yeah, if you really are wanting to learn, just shoot me a message, and I'll set it up better to explain stuff. If you can catch one of the streams, it may actually be best because you can ask me questions. We'll just see where it goes. Now the shadows, add some three-dimensionality here to Starscream. Just such a sneaky character, such a unreliable, untrustworthy, self-serving worm. But he's cool. I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't want him on my army. Definitely not. I used to do videos with a little camera, and I would check them, I would edit them, I would clean them up, and that actually took a while because I had to turn it around and watch the whole thing and cut things short, clean it up, and so I guess the stream. I always did it real time, and this is also real time, so I didn't have to edit it in that fashion. I know it's sometimes preferred to do 2 times drawing speed, but I never got into that. I think that real time is quite alright with it. You stick around, you'll see the whole thing drawn from beginning to end. I think this was it's going to end up having been probably 20 minutes by the time I'm through with it. And there we have Starscream. How long have we been on this for? 18 minutes. Alright. There are the 3 views of Starscream. I'm not entirely pleased with the side view. I feel like this top part, I could knock it down a little bit. If I just knocked it down just a tad, it would strengthen the piece. It doesn't need to go up quite that high. Alright, let's see how this goes. It's better. It's fine, I guess. A few more shadows and I'll be out on my way. Yeah, I'm content with that. Well, thank you for watching. I think it's about time to kill this stream. If you're in the United States, have a good night. If you're elsewhere, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it may be.